All hell is breaking loose as President Zelenskyy of Ukraine is striking back hard against Donald Trump and Putin's plan, and Zelenskyy is doing it on Ukrainian Independence Day. Zelenskyy sent a massive drone swarm into Russia, and now Zelenskyy is striking the Azan logistic hubs after destroying most of the Wildberry logistic hubs. Now, Wildberries is like the Amazon of Russia, and you have Azan, one of the competitors of Wildberries. Zelensky's striking those hubs right now across Russia. We've seen Zelenskyy in Ukraine strike in Stavropol Krai, in Dagestan, in Agia, and these strikes were caught on camera. We have them right now. Take a look at what went down. Let's play this clip.
Вот еще один залетает на наш склад. Allahu Akbar.
Now, here is another angle of one of those strikes on the Azan logistic hub, and you'll see the Ukrainian FP1 strike hard into the logistical hub. Play this clip. Here's another video right here of the Ukrainian FP1 Firepoint-1 attack drone slamming into an already burning Russian Azan e-commerce distribution center in Dagestan this morning. Let's play this clip. You can see the photo right here of this Russian warehouse that has been destroyed by the Ukrainian zones right here. This one is in the Dagestan area. Share this with you. This is what it looked like at night as the Ukrainian attack drones continue to hit the Russian warehouses in Krasnodar at night. Let's show you this. Let's play it. You can see this Russian warehouse ablaze in Krasnodar after the Ukrainian drone strikes right there. You see this photo right here of the Ukrainian attack drones that hit this electric substation in Russia's Kursk Oblast during the afternoon. The Kurskaya substation burning that you see right here supported the Russian Druzhba oil pipeline as well. Show you the B-roll right here. This is footage of a Ukrainian Air Force MiG-29 Fulcrum dropping a pair of French-supplied AASM guided bombs on a group of Russian drone operators. You can see it right here. Let's play some more of that B-roll. Now, as Donald Trump and Putin have been planning ways, in my view, obviously, to tap Zelenskyy, along with Donald Trump telling Zelenskyy, look, we're going to give you Patriot interceptor licenses. Trust me, in my opinion, when Putin called Donald Trump on July 4th, he and Donald Trump were talking about just tap, this is my opinion, you could have a different opinion, just tap Zelenskyy along, tell him you'll give him interceptors at the NATO summit in July, and then don't give it to him. Let Putin build up more ballistics, which Putin's probably going to have the capabilities to build thousands of these ballistics to send and shoot at Ukraine during the winter and to try to keep Ukraine defenseless. Zelenskyy, you've seen, has been doing these drone swarms with these FP1 and FP2 drones, also utilizing the FPV drones, utilizing the FP5 Flamingos as well. And what we've seen also in the past 48 hours is Zelenskyy really leaning in on Ukraine's allies. A meeting taking place now between Zelenskyy and the United Kingdom new Prime Minister Andy Burnham, where Zelenskyy and Burnham are discussing that UK will now be giving Ukraine long-range missiles that are so needed in Ukraine right now. UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham will be visiting Ukraine today. It's his first overseas trip since taking office, and he made it a point that his first trip is in Ukraine. And Burnham is announcing today the British support to help Kyiv improve its domestic production of long-range missiles. Burnham will be in Ukraine to co-chair a meeting of the so-called Coalition of the Willing, a group of countries backing Ukraine that's taking place today on Ukraine Independence Day. And of course, the Trump regime is not part of that Coalition of the Willing. We expect Burnham today, well, he is, announcing that the UK has agreed to allow European missile manufacturer MBDA to release classified information on British-made components used in the Scalp long-range cruise missiles, according to his office. That will help enable France and Ukraine to establish local assembly lines for the missile, which shares British and French technology, according to Downing Street. Ukraine's security is our security, Prime Minister Burnham said in a statement, adding that Britain would stand by Ukraine for as long as it takes. You see, the way the UK is giving Ukraine those critical licenses for the long-range missiles, Donald Trump was promising, we'll give you our classified licenses for the interceptors, and Lockheed will give it to you. Raytheon will give you some others. And then Donald Trump said, actually, Lockheed and Raytheon, they told me they actually don't want to give it to you right now because they're concerned that you may do a cheaper job than they do it, and that could hurt the military-industrial complex in the United States, which makes absolutely no sense. If you actually wanted to do a deal, Donald, you know, Mr. Dealmaker, right? The dude can't make a deal for anything. Just say that if Ukraine makes any of its own interceptors in the future, that all of the IP and all of the profits belong to Lockheed or Raytheon, or who's ever going to do it. I guarantee you Zelenskyy would agree to that because it's existential and it wouldn't be an extortive demand. Zelenskyy needs the interceptors. He's not looking to make a profit off of future interceptors. He's looking to save Ukraine from Russian ballistics right now. Anyway, I'll show you this, a pretty inspiring video right here. Ukraine's motherland monument in Kyiv right here. You'll see the giant glowing trident right here that's being projected onto the motherland monument in Kyiv. This was taking place yesterday on Flag Day. Let's show you the footage right here. Let's play it. Folks, more footage coming in as well. This is the moment of the attack by additional Ukrainian strike drones on the Azan logistics hub in the city of Nevenminsk, Stavropol territory overnight. Play this clip. More evening footage of the attack in Krasnodar. Let's play it.
Вот. Ебать! Охуеть!
And then over here, you'll see, and again, this is in the past 12 hours or so, a warehouse building of a Russian company in Krasnodar that we just showed you. We'll show you over here. Let's play it.
Вообще взрывается что-то. Нет. Огонь вырывается, стекла летят.
Take a look right here at this ozone warehouse in Idgia. Play this clip.
The last time I left my doctor's office, they basically just told me that I was fine. No real data, no game plan, just a pat on the back and I went on my way. You're constantly guessing about what you should be doing for your health, and it can be frustrating. This is why I'm fascinated by what Superpower is doing. It's one simple blood draw that gives you information on over 100 of your blood biomarkers, which is way more than what you would usually get during a normal doctor's visit, and it unlocks a real understanding of your body. This is proactive and performance-enhancing healthcare that dives deep into the why and the underlying cause of various symptoms you may be experiencing. The Superpower app includes detailed information on your heart, liver, thyroid, hormones, metabolism, vitamin and mineral levels, and even environmental toxins. So from disease prevention to treating that annoying brain fog, or simply optimizing your gym game, Superpower is the most comprehensive and advanced system out there. Superpower sends a licensed professional to your home, or you can visit a nearby lab. Superpower doesn't just give you a one-time snapshot either. It tracks your results over your lifetime. Each test builds on the last, so you can actually see the progress year after year instead of starting over every January. Superpower helps you connect the dots and understand long-term trends in your health data and take action on them. Stop only reacting to health problems and start proactively improving your health based on real personalized data. Superpower is also the most affordable 100 plus biomarker blood test out there, starting at $199 and is HSA FSA eligible. Make this year the year that you stop guessing about your health with Superpower. For a limited time, our listeners get $20 off to unlock their new health intelligence. Head over to superpower.com and use code MIDAS for $20 off your $199 Superpower membership. And after you sign up, they'll ask where you heard about them. Let them know that MeidasTouch sent you. It really helps support the show. Thank you.
And then again, we're seeing this diplomacy. It's not just the United Kingdom and Ukraine. Ukraine is hosting a summit of Nordic nations right now. The NB8, Zelenskyy writes, I thank all the participation of the Ukraine NB8 summit. We have very strong support from our Nordic and Baltic partners, true friends. And today's summit reaffirmed this once again. We discussed how to protect our skies, a winter package of missiles for Patriots and other air defense systems, and of course, the details of our Freja project. Today, we also openly discussed funding gap for Ukraine's defenses. It is important that we understand each other. Thank you to everyone for helping us. So big meeting right here of the NB8, the Nordic nations and Ukraine meeting. Thank you for the leadership and unity that strengthened our shared defense and all of Europe. So notably as well, looks like Zelenskyy can get some interceptors from the Nordic nations while Donald Trump is trying to, again, deprive Zelenskyy of the critical interceptors that are needed. You have Finland's president at this summit saying, I think many Europeans and Americans as well need to move beyond the mindset that we are somehow doing charity for Ukraine. Maybe that was the case at the beginning, but now we are learning more from Ukraine than Ukraine is learning from us. And what's notable is that the United States does not want to do the learning from Ukraine. As we previously reported, the Trump regime is shutting down a first of its kind cutting edge drone program that studied the Ukrainian drone systems and drone interceptors. This was spearheaded by former Army Chief of Staff Randy George, but you'll recall that Pete Hegseth basically fired Randy George, the most beloved four-star general in the Army. And then we had Dan Driscoll, who was the Secretary of the Army, has been telling people he will be resigning as well. Driscoll and George were working with Ukraine on this program that Hegseth and Donald Trump didn't want because they want to focus on a, quote, back to the basics approach and try to do the war-fighting spirit of World War II, is what they say. When there was a lot of testosterone, is what Hegseth said. Now, Zelenskyy says that Russia still has about 600 to 630 ballistic missiles and could produce up to 1,300 a year, calling the ballistic threat a key priority for Ukrainian strikes and sanctions. He said that Ukraine recently destroyed an Iskander launcher near the border as part of an ongoing hunt for Russian missile systems. On the ground war, Zelenskyy warned Russia could eventually push toward Kyiv or Chernihiv Oblast to create a buffer zone, while stressing that Kyiv remains one of Putin's long-term objectives. Regarding the former Defense Secretary Fedorov, Zelenskyy said he offered Fedorov 4 different options to remain on the team, but Fedorov refused them, adding that Fedorov had been pushed towards wrong things. It should be noted, Fedorov, very popular young guy in Ukraine, defense minister, cutting-edge drone guy, seems to also be very close to Elon Musk, seems to have presidential ambitions in Ukraine as well. So just keep note of those developments that we've been talking about here. It was a big mistake, I think, one of Zelensky's biggest mistakes, to fire Fedorov. And now I think Fedorov is, again, he's got Elon Musk in his ear. He's close with Musk. I think he has presidential ambitions, but he should never have been fired. And I think the people of Ukraine know that. I think Zelenskyy knows that that was a big blunder. And Zelenskyy did it because the former army chief of commander-in-chief, who Zelenskyy then also fired, told Zelenskyy, to do it. But, look, you have Zelenskyy. It's like a race. It's like kind of like running out of time at this point, right? Zelenskyy striking these warehouses. We know in the winter, Russia is building its ballistic capabilities. Ukraine doesn't have the interceptors to really stop Russia from striking with these ballistics. And you have Zelenskyy expressing a concern that without the right weapons and without the support, Russia could be making major advances on the front, and Russia could be striking hard with its ballistics Ukrainian cities like Kyiv and Zaporizhia and Kharkiv and others. So you have Russia's former president Medvedev at a major Russian party delegates conference said, Ukraine is now commonly called Country 404. Half of its population has disappeared, along with 20% of the territories that had fallen into its hands. I'm sure that more and more territories will be returned to Russia, and our valiant army constantly confirms this. Medvedev says on Europe, the current leaders of the European Union and some European states are direct descendants and ideological heirs of fascists, and in some cases, simply stupid people. Putin said at the same party delegates conference, the people are the source of power, the constitutional right of citizens to choose their representatives and determine the path of development of their country is inviolable. That is the basis of legitimacy and effective democratic state institutions. So it's noteworthy that that's the language that Putin is using right there. At the same time, Donald Trump uses that type of language, whereas the behavior is to the contrary would be an understatement. Putin says the following about Ukraine. The more difficult the situation at the front becomes for the enemy, the more brutal and barbaric the attacks carried out by the Kyiv regime become. This reveals the entire neo-Nazi, Banderite, Russia-phobic essence of the force that we are fighting. Putin refers to the potential peace deals with Ukraine as, I would say, their exotic nature and are unacceptable. We are always ready for dialogue, but only based on the realities emerging from the ground. And Putin also said, Ukraine opened this Pandora's box itself. Well, then, it should expect a response targeting the most vulnerable sectors of its economy, which frankly are already on their last legs. This also applies, by the way, to agriculture production, whose exports are a major source of revenue for Ukraine. Now, I'm not going to show this video, but there was this horrific drone terroristic attack on a young boy in Ukraine. And it was really horrific to see. He was on a bicycle, and this Russian drone approaches him. And again, I'm not going to play it. It's pretty horrific to see what took place. And, but the drone sees this young, looks like a person may have been 16, 17 years old on a bike, and then went around him and then just kind of killed the innocent person. And it's gone viral, but I'm not going to show it here. I wanted to give you the statements coming out of Russia as well, because I want everybody to be clear-eyed that there's not going to be a deal anytime soon. Okay, there's no deal that's going to be happening, and Donald Trump promised on day one he was going to make a deal. It was going to be amazing. So when Donald Trump claims I'm going to do a deal, he can't do deals. Okay, if anything, things have escalated. Things are getting far more deadly than they were before Trump was in office, and you're seeing it. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.